I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. I ain't never lied about nothing in this business. Well, I say nothing ever been given to me. We done been through so much out of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
None of y'all get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Well, I don't know who this person is or anything about the fights or whatever, but first of all, yikes, bro, chill out. You know, that kind of seems like perhaps a bit of that feminine mindset that Dane was talking about earlier. I don't think there's any use in getting so irate in a professional setting like that.
I mean, the only thing I can say about that video is that man needs a hug.
That guy right there is a heavyweight boxer that has the highest percentage, or at least did at one point in time, knockout record, even more than Mike Tyson.
Straight knockout.
His claim is that the guy cheated. That's what his claim is. The guy cheated. He's got a documentary coming out, at least he says, to prove that he cheated. Two of my friends on the phone earlier today was heated, saying he did cheat and I can prove it.
It seems like he's getting super emotional over just a guy's name. That's, to me, like, just to hear a name and get emotional over some dude's name is kind of a little bit feminine.
One is there is this historical thing, especially within boxing, about pitting the races against each other to get your best fights. There is a play that promoters make to make the most money, which means if we can have a racial element to it.
He said to the host of the show, "Oh, you're white privilege."
Because a lot of these fights are racially charged. When you have a black fighter go up against a white there has been a history. That's been a history of boxing ever since boxing has been in existence.
Where?
You name to me one fighter. You name to me one fighter where the other race is their greatest fan base.
Logically speaking, it is impossible to disprove anything. That's how logic works.
Typically, in these situations, when you have two fighters fight, the black fighter has majority of the black fan base, and the white fighter has majority of the white fan base. And every single post that I've ever seen on this topic, you have white men in the comments that are coming to Tyson Fury's aid, saying you're a sore loser.
About Mike Tyson, you don't think Mike Tyson had a bunch of white fans? Like a whole bunch of white fans?
I think he did. I think he
put Tyson in the ring against a white dude. And white guys are hoping that white guy gets knocked out.
Name me a fighter he fought that had a white fighter that had a predominantly black fan base. Name me one. I'm waiting. Let's stop acting ignorant like we don't know the truth.
How tall are his fans gonna be? What color eyes or hair are they gonna be?
You're dodging the question now.
How big are their?
You're trying to see your way out of it.
It's irrelevant. The racist.
No, it's not. It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
Why is it that white people want to tell you what kind of day to have? I don't get it. I'm gonna have to address that with Wicked. Man, I'm gonna have the kind of day I want to have. Fight the power.
Hot heat. You're tuning in to the Vulcan Soapbox.
All right. Let's get into Deontay Wilder crash out. All right, fellas, let's go.
I wanted to move you on to Tyson Fury.
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about.
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about him at all. Understand that? That's it.
I understand that. You've called him a cheat, and it leads me.
The biggest in boxing.
That's like a little bit flaky. You lost those fights. Kind of disappointing to me about you
because I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. I ain't never lied about nothing in this business. Why is it so hard to believe a black man in a white man?
It's got nothing to do with color.
No, yes. This whole world got something to do with race. Come on, you got white privilege, brother.
Oh, don't start.
I ain't never had that.
Don't start.
I'm a black man with dark skin. Ain't nothing ever been given to me. We done been through so much out of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
None of y'all get it. That's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Talking about my peoples and all that shit. It's hard to believe a black man than a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. And the inside of him, they're gonna. I don't about that. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
I wanted
you. Oh, was I supposed to be saying something? I'm sorry.
I'm making fun of Enos because he was on mute talking.
Well, see, it's funny because I thought you were actually telling me when I was on mute. I was saying something to my wife because she brought me some chocolate here to my desk, and I thought maybe you'd say something. I missed it. I'm cool.
White chocolate.
White chocolate. All right, well, you stir this conversation direction you want to go.
Dane wants to get dirty.
So yeah. So as far as so you have here Deontay Wilder situation. We're just gonna go around and we'll start with Uncle Tiger again. What are your thoughts on the video? In a minute or so, what do you think about the video?
Well, I don't know who this person is or anything about the fights or whatever. But first of all, yikes! Like, bro, chill out. That kind of seems like perhaps a bit of that feminine mindset that Dane was talking about earlier. I don't think there's any use in getting so irate in a professional setting like that. But I don't know the situation, so
Okay. Let me say this. Since you're not before the next person. So what you're saying right there, about him being feminine and how he's acting, this reminds me of this comedian that was talking about football players, but this guy right here is a boxer, heavyweight boxer, and stuff like that. And he was saying, like, he saw a headline that said, a football player brutalizes so and so. He said what it should say is football player does football at the wrong time. This guy's a boxer, so he's an aggressive man. That's what he's gonna be. He's in a hurting business. So that's how I would expect a lot of those guys to act when they're pumped up on testosterone and whatever supplements they're taking to maintain what they got to do.
So would you say he was fighting with his emotions during that?
Oh, he's the one. Remember I referenced earlier, like when I was asking the reason, that's the guy Deontay Wilder. Right?
That's it. Okay. The only thing I can say about that video is that man needs a hug.
Hey, we all do at some point in our life.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not. Listen, there's nothing wrong with needing a hug, but that dude need a hug over whoever did something to him to make him that angry over just the name being brought up.
Let me give more context. I appreciate you saying that, Wicked Dream, because for the audience to understand, just to give a little context of who that is. So that guy right there is a heavyweight boxer that has the highest percentage, or at least did at one point in time, knockout record, even more than Mike Tyson.
Straight knockout.
So is he like a Mayweather?
Yeah, no,
record? Hell no.
No, he's heavyweight. No. Yeah,
straight destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
straight body.
He lost to a white fighter, Tyson Fury, who's named after Mike Tyson, an Irish guy.
I've heard of that name.
6'10". This guy's 6'9", 6'10". They fought 3 times, and that's how competitive the matches were. And so both of them were undefeated when they fought, and he lost as undefeated after he fought this guy. It was the first one was like a draw. The second one and third one, this guy right here lost. So that's why the emotions there. This guy was an undefeated fighter.
Okay, so just so I understand, so it's 3 fights total. First fight was a draw, no winner. Then they fought 2 more times, and the white guy won both times.
Yeah. And his claim is that the guy cheated. That's what his claim is. The guy cheated. He's got a documentary coming out, at least he says, to prove that he cheated. 2 of my friends on the phone earlier today was heated, saying he did cheat, and I can prove it. So that's how serious that part is.
Like how do you cheat in boxing?
I'm just giving you,
man,
I understand. I understand there's ways. Like if you watch a Jake Paul fight, you could see
why he's so emotional about it. This is his life's work, undefeated, and all of a sudden he gets 2 losses basically, and he thinks the guy. So that's why he's so emotional about it. That's why
I guess I would have to actually see the fight or see how he cheated to actually get a better thing. But just from what I see, from what I know right now, if you tell me, okay, well, he fought, it just seems like he thinks he's good. This dude, you know what I mean? Like you think you're the tough guy, then you go find out that you got beat up by this dude who might be a little bit smaller than you. And I think that just really hurt his ego.
Tyson Fury's bigger. Tyson Fury's bigger than him.
Tyson was even bigger. He got beat up by a bigger dude.
Yeah, this Irish.
You're making it worse for him right now, for him, man. I'm really trying to cut this guy some slack.
No. Once you know more about the story, I'm making it better for him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just letting you know. I just want to let you know the emotional part of it. And number 2, that you should watch that first fight for sure. It was a crazy situation where I think he's kind of losing most of the fight. The last couple seconds of the fight, he knocks the guy out. Like
I've seen, dude. There's been plenty of fights that happen like that. I mean,
this guy rises like the Undertaker, so you definitely got to check that fight out. But
he rose from the dead in the last few seconds.
Yeah, it was a crazy fight. You got to check it out.
I would like to see that. I mean, from what I'm understanding right now, it just seems like they're both really good fighters, and he just got lucky.
He knocked him out, he started dancing. As soon as he turned around, started dancing.
Yeah, he was already celebrating after he hit him because he knew he hit him with some dynamite, and it blew up. And he was laid out on his back, both his shoulders on the back, on his back on the mat. and he was able to get up in exactly 10 seconds.
And that's what's controversial.
So that part of him getting up. So okay. So I guess I would have to see that part to get a better thing. But I mean, I've seen plenty of fights where dudes get up, like they just need that second to rest, and it just happens to be like they get up at that last second. They might get up. He could have been able to get up like 3 seconds earlier, but he might have taken that extra 2-3 seconds to get that extra rest. I've seen that happen in fights a lot of times.
You got to see the knockout. He was out for about 3 seconds, and then he jolted, and then he like slowly and then he recovered.
So I mean, I've seen fights that happen where dude gets knocked out, and then like 2 seconds later he just jumps up like in shock. So I guess like your body goes in shock. So I mean, I could see it being plausible of it happening, and being that it's plausible, I would really have to see it to get a better understanding. But it just seems like he might have just got lucky.
Well, just quickly, just the question that you're on is like just what you think about the video. I was just giving you some background knowledge just to help out maybe with.
Yeah, I mean, on the video, it seems like he's getting super emotional over just a guy's name. Like that's to me, like just to hear a name and get emotional over some dude's name is kind of a little bit feminine to me. I could be like upset, but to get that to that level. So
Wiki, let me ask you a question, Wiki. Let's say you're a boxer, right? And you worked hard for your career, right? And you about maybe like 30 or 40 fights in, and you have one of your biggest fights of your career, and the guy that you're fighting against cheated. You find out that he was on steroids, and you find out that he had weights in his glove.
Let me add.
And you find.
Let me add something.
Yeah, but you're finding, but that's known proof. That's already having proof.
Well, let me. I just want to add one more element because T Reason's painting the picture for you. I want to add one more thing. Tyson Fury was an undefeated boxer who went through a lot of harsh times with drugs and stuff like that. Deontay Wilder brought him back into the spotlight by giving him opportunity because Deontay Wilder's on top of the world.
Okay, so he's actually been known for taking drugs and stuff like that prior.
Oh yeah.
Okay, see that changes things. That changes.
The guy he fought that beat him was the guy who was like 400 or 500 pounds. He's like a 6'9", 6'10" guy. He's already a big guy. He ended up being like 400 pounds, suicidal.
He gave up on the sport, and Deontay Wilder went to him and got him back.
Opportunity to be back in the spotlight in the top of boxing, and so he's like,
I mean, there could be a possibility of cheating. He brought me back, and he's going to do whatever he can to get back in the spotlight. I could see that as a possibility, knowing that. Yeah. Not knowing before.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I could see, but knowing that, I could see why he's getting emotional because it's like, okay, there's more of a probability to where he could be telling the truth. Not knowing too much about it, but now finding this out, getting a little more, it's like, okay, he could have a valid point, but I just don't think to get that emotional. You could be like, you know what, I don't want to talk about him. It is what it is. Then you just stop talking. You don't have to start blowing it up, and then you bring into like race and everything. I don't understand what race had to do with anything.
So let me finish telling you. So now you meet this opponent in the ring, and you fight, and in the fight, you end up losing the fight, and you go back to your camp and you find out that this guy has several allegations of cheating, and you have proof that he cheated, and you have X-rays and different things like that showing you that this guy cheated. Are you gonna feel positively towards?
No. I already said I will. I understand why he feels that way because you guys added context that I didn't know, where he had this drug background, he had this and that, and I could understand.
Let's say he didn't have that.
What did he bring the race into it for?
Let's say
what I don't understand.
Yeah, what does white privilege have?
What does the white part, or what is? I don't understand why you have to race just because you fought a white guy.
So the reason why that comes into play is because nobody believes that there's even a possibility that he cheated. So right now he's having a hard time getting people to even entertain the idea that the guy who beat him cheated. But let's say, for instance, you and your camp, after doing your own due diligence, know beyond a shadow of a doubt with the evidence you have that this guy cheated. There's no doubt in your mind personally. I'm talking about you, Wicked, personally. There's no doubt in your mind that this person cheated. And you had multiple press conferences where y'all got in heated exchanges. He attacked your character, called you certain things, made light of your community, and insulted you on a personal level. And now, fast forward, you're now dealing with that. How are you going to feel towards the situation?
I get that part, but that dude was talking to the host of a show. He's calling the white. He's saying, he's like, oh, you're white privilege. You don't know what this and that is. But that's just the host of the show. He's not that guy who he was fighting.
He's defending Tyson Fury, though. He framed it as that Deontay Wilder should acknowledge that he lost and apologize for accusing Tyson Fury of cheating.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as him believing, but that still has nothing to do with race to me. Just because he has a different opinion. What does that have to do with race?
You weren't involved in the whole road that led up to the fight. You weren't involved in none of the conversations that they had when he went and got him when he was drunk and strung out on drugs.
I'm talking about the host of the show. He said to the host of the show, "Oh, you're white privilege."
Because a lot of these fights are racially charged. When you have a black fighter go up against a white fighter, all the white community typically favors the majority of the white community. Majority of the white community, majority is true.
That's the assumption.
It is absolutely true. If we actually took a poll, we could prove that through a poll.
Let him get in there.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but when you say the majority of the white community, point me to those white people. Because you're speaking about a community that you don't seem to have much of a very broad involvement with. Naturally, you're going to know and have more experiences, even though when I talk about, being raised like a marshmallow and a bowl of Cocoa Puffs compared to the average white guy. Yeah, I have a lot more firsthand experience in the black community, but compared to a black person like yourself, man, it ain't even close. So for you to say the majority of white people X, you're speaking from your assumptions and things that people around you, which you're typically going to be. Can I finish?
And
people who are typically, people who typically, because you're friends, you're going to kind of think similarly. They're going to kind of agree and support that. But so when you say the majority of the white community, you're just throwing that out to support your argument, but you don't have any actual objective reason to believe that.
No, I'm not.
Well, then where's your evidence about the opinions of white people when it comes to a white boxer and some sort of a question of like this in the match?
That's been a history of boxing ever since boxing has been in existence.
Where?
You name to me one fighter. You name to me one fighter where the other race is their greatest fan base. Name to me one example. You give me an example. You give me an example that disproves my claim.
You said that 97%.
Name one example that disproves my claim.
Logically speaking, it is impossible to disprove anything. That's how logic works.
Like what you said earlier when you said you know exactly what Muhammad Ali was feeling when he dodged 20 punches.
You made the claim.
That is not provable. You cannot prove what Muhammad Ali was feeling.
You made the claim.
Fellas, all right. Dang, finish your point.
Okay. You made the claim.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Dan. Right,
that's okay. I understand it can get kind of hectic
sometimes.
Be muted.
You need to mute this guy because I was still making my point.
You made the claim that 99% or 90% or whatever percent it was of white people
never gave a percentage.
The majority of. If you stop being pedantic, I can make my point.
No, you just wrong. You just wrong.
The majority,
oh my God,
when you do this, T Reason, you're showing how weak your argument is.
No, I'm not.
You made the claim that the majority or whatever.
I didn't say.
The majority.
Things I didn't say.
You man, it ain't even this bad. It ain't even this bad arguing with my wife.
Hold on, Dan. You're gonna get T Reason. You're gonna get a chance to speak. Dan, go ahead and finish making your.
You made the argument that some portion, the majority or whatever of white people are going to do X or believe X or defend whatever. So that's your claim to defend and objectively prove. It's not my claim to prove otherwise. I have the negative. Logically speaking, I cannot prove a negative, but you made the affirmative claim, so it's your job to provide evidence outside of, well, I think, and all of my friends agree that this is true. You need to show me how you actually ground that most white people or whatever believe X, Y.
You can go look at the fan base of the crowd that was in attendance.
Your job. Your job to go look at it. Your job to go look at it.
Wait.
You can go look at any of the comments in the videos. You can go look at any.
Hold on, T Reasons. I want you to respond to what Dane is saying as far as let me bring Vulcan back here. As far as making the claim and able to prove your claim, and then I bring you in Uncle Tiger.
Okay.
So, all right. So go ahead, T Reasons. It's on you as far as the claim is.
Typically, in these situations, when you have two fighters fight, The black fighter has majority of the black fan base, and the white fighter has majority of the white fan base. And every single post that I've ever seen on this topic, you have white men in the comments that are coming to Tyson Fury's aid, saying you're a sore loser, you lost. And that has been consistent.
You're saying that to prove what? You're saying that
that has been consistent throughout the totality of their trilogy of their fight. And if you did a poll on the fans in the crowd, majority of the fans that were there for Tyson Fury were white. Majority of the fans in the crowd that were there for Tyson Fury were black. And this is going to be in any fight.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's Tyson Fury or Usyk or any of the other great fighters that exist. It
What
happens.
about Mike Tyson? You don't think Mike Tyson had a bunch of white fans? Like a
I think he
whole bunch
did.
of white
I
fans?
think he did. I think he did. But
So that
whenever
proves your
you
point
have
wrong.
him
Thank
go
you.
up
Appreciate
against,
that.
but whenever you
Keep
have him go up against a white fighter, that white fighter is going to have a predominantly white fan base.
No way. No way. Not
If
against.
I can
If you put
respond-
Tyson in the ring against a white dude, and white guys are hoping that white guy gets
name
knocked
me a
out.
fighter. Name me a fighter he fought that had a white fighter that had a predominantly black fan base. Name me one. I'm waiting.
Listen,
hold on a second. Hold on, real quick. Your point was
wait,
to name
wait,
a black
wait.
fighter that has a white fan base. I did that. So stop moving the
No,
goalposts and contend with my argument.
The majority of his fan base. The majority. What's the majority of Mike Tyson's fan base?
You said
Crickets.
Hey,
crickets. How is it crickets? If you let me
What's
speak,
the majority
then,
of Mike
again,
Tyson's
so-
fan base? The
again, so can
majority.
how about close your mouth? Okay, let me speak.
You close
That's
your
how it
mouth
works.
because you
Just-
can't even answer the question.
Bro,
I asked the question.
How
You
you're
can
not
you
letting
ask me a
him.
question and then open your mouth and talk?
No,
expect
because
me to
you're
answer
trying
your
to tell me
question.
what to do. You don't
Listen,
get to tell me what to
you're
do,
being
sir.
absolutely absurd right now.
You don't-
You can't ask me a question and continue to talk, you idiot.
You don't get to tell. I'm sorry, you don't get to dictate turn.
Hang
How am I
on.
dictating turns? I'm trying to answer your question, but
No,
you keep
because
talking.
immediately you told me to stop talking.
Hang
You
on.
didn't have to. You didn't have to add that in. All you had to do was say your point.
But I did because I kept
Stop
trying to answer your
whining.
question, and then you kept talking. So you see why I had
Hang
to
on.
say.
No, you weren't trying to answer my question. You were trying to dictate turn.
Streamer must have changed their rules. All right. Wusa. All right. So here is you got a chance to make your claims and everything, right? So let's just bring. I want to bring a Tiger here. Your point, Wicked Dreams. Your point as far as the white fan base. Just make that point only. Just.
So my point of what I was saying, he's saying that there was black boxers who don't have a good majority that have white people as a fan.
Never said that.
Okay, so he didn't say that. Okay.
Because it seemed like that's what you said to Dane when you were like, oh, well, there that have a majority white people. Name me any boxer, any black boxer that has a majority white people as a base. That, if they were to fight against another white boxer, or if it was a black boxer fighting a white boxer, the black boxer wouldn't have more white people voting for him than the white person would. Is that what you were saying before, right?
No, what I'm saying is when you look at both sides. So let's say you got a white fighter going up against a black fighter, right?
Uh-huh.
You gave the example of Mike Tyson. So
Mhm.
what I'm saying is you look at that white fighter that's fighting, what's going to be majority of that white fighter's fan base?
Boxing fans.
But I mean, boxing, it
Yeah,
could be
hey,
white, it could be black.
but
But
what color is that white fighter's base going to be predominantly?
How tall are
let's
most
stop
of his
acting
fans?
ignorant like we don't know the truth.
How tall are his fans gonna be? What color eyes
You
or
dodging
hair
the
are they gonna
question.
be?
You dodging the
how,
question now.
How big are their penises
You trying
gonna
to
be?
you trying to
It's
sneeze
irrelevant.
your way out of it.
It's
Right.
irrelevant. The
No,
racist,
it's not. It's very
the
relevant.
racist
It's very
sees their
relevant.
world through the
It's
color
very
of
relevant
racism.
because a lot of these fights are
Hold on,
racially
Teresa. Hold on,
charged,
Teresa.
and you're trying to act as though they're not.
All right. Ryan. Uncle Tiger, come in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's just grant it. Okay, T Reason, fine. White people are typically going to favor the white boxer and vice
Absolutely.
versa. Okay,
Absolutely.
so let's just. I don't actually think that's the case necessarily, but
It
I'll
is the
grant
case.
it. Well, can just hold on a second, dude. Okay, let's just grant it for the sake of the argument. All right, we'll just grant it. I think that most white people, if let's say perhaps they favored the white boxer, the white boxer that we're talking about with what's the black guy's name? Doesn't matter. I think that white people would be more inclined to believe that he was cheated, that the white boxer cheated, if when the host of the show asked him the question and the black boxer had responded like, with an intelligent response, like, not crashing out. I think more white people would be inclined to believe him if that were the case.
That's
But when
where
you
we
fly
disagree.
off the handle, when you
that's where we
fly off the
disagree.
handle,
Can I-
it just
can I
kind of
step
makes
in
it
real
look
quick?
like you're
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you
immature.
can. Not the-
Go ahead.
I just want to step in real quick and say this, Ray, and I could be wrong about this, but I thought towards the end, because he was very emotional and passionate, and he wasn't being, he was kind of all over the place, erratic. But I think he did mention, I guess, when people go on these interviews, they may say, hey, look, don't ask me certain questions. I think he alluded to or said that was one of the questions that he wasn't supposed to ask about. And so that
Well,
might
if that's the
Okay,
case,
maybe
then
I missed that part.
yeah,
then that would be unfair.
He said it at the very beginning. He said, we're not going to talk about that. Don't bring him up.
Yeah,
okay, it's fair. Then maybe the interviewer, the host, should have
He
been like,
already
okay,
knew.
No. I mean, I heard him say.
So
but
he
I don't
already
know.
knew it was a hot button. He already knew it was going to open up a can of worms.
Hold on, T-Rex. I want to add one more part, and I'm going to give it back to y'all to finish, hashing this thing out. But I want to say this. This is my take on the two sides of it. One is there is this historical thing, especially within boxing, about pitting the race against each other to get your best fights. Some of that's more nationality than race. Some of it's more ethnicity than race. Some of it's more coast than race. And so there's a lot of other elements in it that aren't just racial. There is this thing historically about the Great White Hope. You see that with Rocky, was part of the play with Rocky, part of the play, you see that happen in the real world as well.
I was thinking that too.
It doesn't mean that all their fans are white or anything like that, but that is like a generalization that promoters will play to get the most money.
Okay.
So I will give T reason that there is something there to it. Now, to Dane's point, he's saying, okay, like you don't know what the percentage of their fans really are, and we don't know that. But there is a play that promoters make to make the most money, which means if we can have a racial element to it, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, even though Conor McGregor's not even a boxer.
But couldn't you add a racial element to everything if you wanted to? It doesn't make it that the actual point.
They do money makers. That's a good point, Wicked Dreams. The money makers.
Some truth to that. Let's get to the comments.
So you're trying to dilute the original conversation by saying that, and it doesn't. It's a mute point at this point.
All right, hold on.
Because we're talking about specifically to boxing.
Hold on, comments up. Ryan's favorite 3 out of 4 fights at least are black. He knows them all. You cannot, 100. You cannot assume that white people just get tribalistic and support other white people just because of POC do that.
What is POC? What does she mean by
people of color?
People of color. Okay. All right. Okay, this is lit.
So now she's trying to say that only people of color do it, but white people don't do it. That's asinine statement. That's crazy to think.
That's not what she's saying.
That's not what she said.
If I could clarify a little bit, because you probably saw Leah on stream last week. She's a white chick. What she's saying is not only people of color do it. What she's saying is she knows people like her husband, boyfriend, or whatever, and other white people who are big fans of black boxers. She's saying, so white people don't just support boxers because they're white, even though, and then she's stepping into what she thinks of as your experience, which would naturally and reasonably involve more black people. So you're drawing your conclusion based on your anecdotal life experiences of it being less white people, more brown and black people. So when she says, even though people of color, many people you have more involvements with, probably do that. That's what she's saying. She's not saying that only black people do it. I'm
basing it on the history of boxing, and I'm not basing it on my own personal opinion. I'm basing it on what I've seen throughout boxing before black fighters were even allowed to fight. It's been that way.
Your question was, so she's saying only people of color do that. All I'm clarifying is that's not what she's saying. So I'm trying to clarify what she was saying. That's all.
Yeah, I hope that's not what she was trying to say.
No, that's not what she was saying. It's definitely not.
No.
All right, she got more comments. I believe these comments was towards T. Reza. It's only. This is when the debate was going on. She said, "You keep denying the words that you said. Is this a habit for you?" Question.
I think she might be hearing me say something I didn't say, just like them. I'm very specific in what I say, and she's hearing the things that they're also hearing that never came out of my mouth.
I wish Leah would just come on stream.
Yeah, we got the tape. We can go back to the tape and go verbatim what I said. I never gave a percentage.
I'm hearing that T Reason is crashing out at Leah, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because she going. She.
Well, I mean, when you say majority, you're kind of giving a percentage.
All right, well, somebody finish comment. It's only relevant to those who wish to race bait about it. Last comment. She also says reading comprehension is important. I said you can't assume that because of your admitted just now experience of Black people around you do that. Stop hearing racism everywhere. All right.
Stop denying things that are blatantly racist.
All right, guys. Hey, before this next talk comes up, I got to get out of here. I got to wake up in 5 hours, get ready for work and stuff. I really appreciate the night, guys.
Yes, sir.
Dane, thanks for having me up. Vulcan, Enos, T Reason, and Tiger. Appreciate the convo, and hopefully I'll come back up next stream as long as I'm not working, man. It was fun.
Sure.
So definitely had a good conversation with you guys tonight. I appreciate everything, man.
You're a chef. You don't work. You're a chef.
Yeah, Mr. Man, I sit at home all day long. Why you got tits?
Yikes.
Have a great night, guys. Appreciate everything.
All right, so
why is it that white people want to tell you what kind of day to have? I don't get it. I'm gonna have to address that with Wicked. Man, I'm gonna have the kind of day I want to have. Fight the power.
Well, wait a second. Wicked's not white, man. He's Italian. That's different.
What did he say? What did he say in Space Jam? Wicked's not white. He's clear.
Dang, we moving the topic along, man. That was my favorite topic, man. Dang.
Nobody cares.
I'm setting it up.
I do. So you can't say nobody.
Oh yeah, we're just setting it up. Yeah, let's see. I'm hesitant to actually.
We're on the second to last one. The next one we do is the last one, y'all. So,
well, it's 3 more.
We man.
David. Banner.
Okay.
How many we got left?
On my pregame that I did before I came over here on my private channel, I said that last week was a little bit of a letdown for me because I was used to these streams going to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning my time. And last week it was like 2 or 3 hours in and y'all wrapping it up, and I'm like, where's the rest of it?
All right, what we got, man? You what we doing?
Yeah, I'm starting over.
The reason you have more you want to say while waiting on? Does he have time to talk while you waiting on? Yeah, I don't know.
I just think that that's an element of boxing that we don't have on podcasts or forums like that. There's a lot of footage on that fight, on the 3 fights, and these guys have some serious bad blood between the 2 of them. And I think that the host capitalized on that. Whenever he asked that question, he knew it was going to get a reaction from Deontay Wilder. He's the one who had the to this day moment, and he was trying to get his to this day. Yeah, boxing. And he was trying to get his to this day moment, and he got that,
Boxing is in. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much what I had to say.
Boxing is inherently and historically, and this is not even arguable, it's inherently an extremely corrupt sport from its foundation. Boxing is. All sports have gambling and crookedness. All business have crookedness. There's a certain element of crookedness in everything. But boxing itself is historically been known to be extremely corrupt and everything. So I mean, that's just a natural ontological part of boxing. So when we start splitting it out to say, well, it's more corrupt in this direction or the other, boxing's a corrupt sport. The mafia has historically always been very involved in it, or whatever. So it's sport. But I would like to point out that when you're talking about do what now?
I said you go ahead and close it out. We got the next topic ready.
When Vulcan was saying earlier that it has historically been known to pit black against white, before it was pitting black against white, I just want to point this out for me and for Uncle Tiger down there, that little Rocky the Squirrel looking leprechaun Irishman. Before it was black against white, it was Irishmen who were getting the crap beat out of them and exploited and everything else. I just want to point that out. Fight the power.
That's right.
All right.